Okay, so let's get started today. So we were discussing threads and we were discussing different types of invocation of threads. And we discussed two types of invocation of threads. So we'll see some coding examples today for threads. So there are two types of invocation. First one was have the threads base class and basically you extend the run method and then use the thread.start. That was one way, and the second way was to declare runable again extend the run method and then post from background. These were the two methods, and we saw that for with respect to every main thread there are two types of queue. One is the message queue and another is the runnables queue, right? So and why is there why are there those queues? Because we want to communicate between threads, and we saw that one of the ways of communicating is through inter-process communication, IPC, or using socket communication. So so what we did was we discussed the concept of handlers. So how did the communication take place? So there is a main thread. The main thread has a message queue and a token. Right? And there is this the secondary thread or background thread. So there is this background thread. What the background thread did is get access to the token. Then the thread got access to this token. The next thing it did is modify with the new message. And the final thing it did was this modified message send it to the queue. These are the three things that the secondary thread has to do in order to send the message to the main thread. Now in code, these are done using the class handler. So handler is this token. This token is similar to a handler. So in code we have the concept of handler, and this directly corresponds to the concept of token. Right? Now what you have to do is for both the main thread and the background thread, you have to declare the same handler. The same handler H is shared. So let's say this is the handler H. This represents the token. This is the shared variable for both main thread and background thread. Now, corresponding to each handler, there are three specific tasks. So, if you do H dot, then you get to all of those tasks. First one is obtain message. This obtain message, the function of this obtain message is to get access to a token. If the token is free, which means no other thread is using this token, then you can do h.obtain message to get the token, get access to the token. Then you do some modifications, you add some message, new message to this token. How you do that, you will see a little bit later. But then the other function that you have is h.set message. This is used to put the token into the queue, or put the modified token into the message queue. So these two, h.obtain message and h.set message, these two are used by the background thread. The background thread can use these two functions. Now there is another function called h.handle message. The main purpose of this handle message is to pop a token from a message queue and read. So if the message queue is not empty, there is a token, then h.handle message function gets invoked. And this function is used by the main thread. These functions are used by the main thread. Now this is only for messages. Now there is also there has to be something for runnable server, for the runnable queue. So you have the same functions, obtain message, send message, handle message for the runnable. But in order to put a runnable request to the runnable queue, you have the function called post. So in addition to all this, you have the function called post. Right? It's the post. And this post gives a request to execute a runnable section of the application. At some point in time. You don't know when. You don't know when it is going to be executed. Because it just put somewhere in the queue. Now you can choose where to put in the queue. Whether to put it at the top or at the bottom or in the middle. You can choose that. And then based on that there are different functions. So these are all in the slides. So let's go back and look at the slides and then we'll look at the code. So here you have the update message, send message, and handle message. We already discussed this, and the post in order to request execution of non-block. Then this is a pictorial representation of what goes on. So for the main thread, you have a handler, as well as for the background thread, you also have to have the same handler. Right? Now, since the background thread shares the code for the main thread, if you declare a handler in the main thread, the background thread also has by default. Right? So now what you can do is there is that message queue, and there is a free token. Now this main thread can either have a single free token or multiple free tokens, depends upon the operating system. Right? So that's why we have a queue of free tokens. There can 4 or 5 free tokens. The 5 background threads at the same time is sending message to the message queue. That can happen. So there are these message queues and there are these free tokens. So now what happens here is that the main thread has declared certain blocks of code as runnable. So there are two runnables, R1 and R2. So now this background thread 1 only posts messages to the main thread. So that's why what it does is that it says obtain message to get the access to a free token, modifies the message in some way, we'll see how later, and then does send message to put the message somewhere in the queue. The background thread 2 again can do obtain message and send message, same as background thread 1, but it also does runnables. So what it does is that it posts R1, which means R1 will be run at some time in the future when you don't know. You can also use the function post at front of queue, right? Those kind of functions, so that you can give a priority to the runnables that you are posting. So this is the pictorial representation of how threads really work. Now there is this code example here also, but let's look at the code that we have written. We have also. Did you post the code here? The thread example. No, we will post it.
The source code?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did already. Okay. So that source code is already available. So now here in this code, we again have a very simple UI. I can show you the UI. Here. There is just a button and some text view, and there is a toast going on. You'll see what is it. Everybody can see the interface. Zoom in. Better, right? So we'll see this. So this is the simple interface. Now what I have is that whenever I start an application, whenever I start this application, there's a background thread going on. So whenever I open the first screen, like click the icon, then a thread gets started. And what thread gets started? I just use the handler class, right? The first way of invoking thread. Use the handler class, update the run function, and do thread.start. So if we look at here, in here, so this is the main activity. So whenever you go to the on thread, on start. on start, what has happened is first of all, we need to declare a handler. So this handler, thread handler, this is declared in the main activity outside any of the functions. So which means this can be accessed, this thread handle can be accessed by any thread that follows from the main activity. So we declare this thread handler, and then notice that this handle message function is you have to override this handle message function, which means this is a default function that you have to implement. So this handle message handles those tokens. So whatever you write inside here will be executed whenever there is a message in the message. Then you come to the onThread function. In the onThread, ignore these ones. So there is a button, ignore the button for now. And this is the oh. Okay, so this is one of the threads that I have declared. So this thread is a object of the class, of the base class thread. And then what I do is whenever you declare the object of this class thread, you have to extend the run function. So here you have to override the run function. So inside the run function, I have written some code. That code is what it does is that it just creates a random number. Right? It creates a random number and it uses this random number, gets access to the token, and modifies the token with this random number and sends it out, puts it inside the message queue of the main activity. So what happens there is that once it puts the number into the message queue, then it ignores that post program does for now. So it enters that message queue and let's say that is it. Let's ignore the posting part. Now then what you do is we immediately start the thread by doing thread run.start. So whenever the onThread or onStart function is invoked, it is typically invoked after the onThread. So you execute the onThread function and then you go to the onStart. So whenever that onStart function is invoked, then this thread is declared and it immediately starts this thread. Now once it immediately starts this thread will do this 10 times. Take the token, modify the message with the random number, and put the message into the message queue. Right? Now, whenever there is a message in the message queue, what will the main thread do? Main activity thread do? It's all written inside the handle message function. So in the handle message function, what it does is that it increments the progress bar, which means there is a progress bar that goes forward, and then it has a toast. So it says that what is the thread execution state. It just says thread execution state and sends out some message. That's it. So that's why whenever we start this code, you see that the thread automatically starts. Thread execution state 1, 2, 3, and so on. So this is being sent by the background thread that gets started in the on start function, right? So 10 times, after doing 10 times, it says thread execution complete, right? That is what is written in the handle message. Thread execution complete. Now what it does is that if we look into this on start function, in on start there is this my handler or post foreground task also, right? So after doing this 10 times, after making this token, modifying it with message 10 times, what this thread is doing is that it's telling the main activity to run a foreground task. What is that foreground task? You have to declare. So that foreground task is declared somewhere. Oh, here, this one. So this is a runnable, right? So it is declared inside the main activity. So a portion of the code of the main activity you declare as runnable, and you call it foreground task. And what it does is that there is another progress bar. It increments the progress bar and also says some message like hi from thread 2 and so on. So here you can do toast. So what is this toast? This toast is something that comes up on top of the UI. Right? Only a main activity can do toast. Background threads cannot do toast. So that's why either you have this toast message in the handle message function, because there that is the main part of the main activity, or you have it in some runnable, because runnable is also part of the main activity. Right? So that's why you can have toasts inside runnables, and it says hi from thread 2 and so on. And it says this every 10 seconds, or actually 10 milliseconds, I forgot. I think 10 seconds. It says this is after every, I think 10 milliseconds. Every 10 milliseconds, say hi compared to one. So if we look at the execution here, you will see that after doing the thread execution state 10 times, it should say thread execution complete, and then it should start showing high from thread 2. Right? So thread execution has started. The progress bar is incrementing. Actually, the UI is not that good, so you won't be seeing increments of the progress bar. But it is actually incrementing. So now it says thread execution complete, and it runs around, right? Icon thread. Okay. So that is basically what is happening here. Now you see that there is a button also. So what happens in that button? In that button, let's study that. So when we go to this button, so we have to talk about this. So there is this on click listener. So whenever we click, we see that there is this new function, new scroll task.execute. What is that? So as you see here, when we are when we are invoking threads using the two methods that we have the base class, we extend the run function and do thread.start. That's one way, and the other way is by runnables. When we do that, there is a lot of process. Right? Every time we want to communicate with the main thread, we have to do obtain message, send message, post, and all those things. Now, Android makes it much more easier for the user. So there is a third method of invoking thread. And this third method is basically a combination of the first two methods. It's just abstracting all the details from you and just giving you a nice interface. So that third method is called async task. Async task is another type of invoking threads. It's not a fundamentally different way of invoking threads. It's just that it makes life easier. So you don't have to worry about obtain message, send message, posts and all those things. You don't have to worry about that. You just have to worry about four functions which are very easy to understand, and if you use those four functions, all the underlying obtain message, send message, handle message are taken care of. You don't have to worry about it. So instead of looking at this code, let's go to the presentation to see what is an async task. It is much better explained. So all these examples you can go through. That's not a, and the same things we have also discussed in the code. Now let's look at. Okay, before we go on to async task, there are these different versions of send message. You can do send message at front of you, send message at a particular time, send message at some delay, all these things you can do. But if you use the default send message, it puts the message at the end of the queue. Right? Send message at the front of the queue means it puts at the front of the queue, and so on. Similarly, you also have post. Post can also be at the front of the queue, post with delay and so on. And these are some actual examples which we have already covered. So now let's look at async tasks. Async tasks are again easy to use UI threads. Right? And these are basically combinations of the first and the second method of thread. So now async task is a base class. Right? You have to extend that class. That class has three generic input types: parent, progress, and result, and four operational states: begin, doing background, process progress, and end. So what are these? Let's understand. Now we can understand that by using this code. So the async task is a base class. And there is another object of that class, very slow task, and it extends this async task, and it has to override four functions. And remember, it has three inputs also. So the first function is onTreeExecute. OnTreeExecute means this is a code where you can configure a thread, and when you are configuring a thread, in this function you can have access to all UI components that an activity creates. So you have access to all UI components. Then there is a function called do in background. Now in this function, do in background, you can write long functions that take a lot of time. And these operations work in background. So in this function, whenever you execute this function doing background, you do not have access to any UI components. You cannot toast, you cannot give a toast message, you cannot listen to a button click, because you cannot access any UI components. Now, what you can do is, let's say you are writing a very long function, let's say network download. You are doing network download, but you want to periodically keep the user interested by publishing a progress report. Maybe showing that okay, it's downloading 50%, 60%, and so on. You need to show that. So what you can do is, in a for loop, every 10 seconds or every 2 seconds, every 2 seconds, what you do is use this function, publish progress, and you can set certain value into this publish progress, certain input value. So what you can do is, you can this some long value. This can be the current state of your computation. You can say that okay, this 50% complete or 40% complete. That number can be the input to publish progress. Now, whenever you call publish progress, you come to this function, publish progress, right? On progress update. Sorry, you come to that function, on progress update. Now, whenever you come to that function, on progress update, you can access UI components. You can change buttons. You can do progress bar. You can change the state of progress bar. So what you can do is you can take this input value, the 50%, 40% progress, and you can use it to change the state of the progress bar in this publish on progress update function. Right? So periodically you can do this. In a for loop you can do this to keep the user interested. So basically underlying what it is doing, it is using the same method But you don't have to write all those handlers and all those because it's all built. There is an abstraction, as in task. Now, once the background task is done, you go to the on-post execute function. And when you go to the on-post execute function, again you can change UI components. You can publish and update that, okay, the computation is done. And then once you get out of the on-post execute function, your thread is clean. So that is async task. It's a very high-level abstraction of the same function that we talked about earlier. The run and start, and the other one is the run and go and post. So let's see an example of this in our code. So that slow task that I talked about, slow task that execute. This is another async task. So inside this main activity, I have declared the slow task as an async task. Right? So this extends the async task. And here what happens is there is on pre-execute. On pre-execute, what I do is I change the text view. It says the task before the slow job is posted. So whenever you click the button, you will see that the text view message should change to task before the slow job is posted. And then you immediately go to do it background. So you might not see this because this happens many times. When you click the button, you might not see it. Then what happens is in the background, there is a thread speed for 100 milliseconds, and publish progress is an integer, right? From 0 to 10. So whenever you publish progress, what you do is you come to the on progress update. So the text in the text view is set to working on whatever long ID you get. Right? And then finally, once the entire doing background is done, you go to post execute, which says done is completed. So let's see the execution of this. So if I hit the button, just it happens so fast. So task before executing the background task was displayed, then it step working on some numbers, and then it's done with the computation. So again, so that's an example of async task. So now what you do is, I think your assignment 1, I hope, is done already. When was the deadline for assignment 1? What? 4 June. Okay. So you can either do your assignment using services and activities, or you can also use threads, async task. But for assignment 2, you definitely need async task. So for assignment 1, you might not need threads, but for 2, you definitely. So you can use the code that John has already uploaded. All these codes are already uploaded, so you can use those codes. So this concludes our discussion on threads in the Android and Linux kernel, which is made for application systems. Do you have any questions regarding the threads discussion? Threads and logic.
So there is message queue. So
if the queue is empty, then the handler message will not be called. Is someone? Only the main thread will read the queue. And the main thread will read the queue based on the CPU scheduler telling it to read the queue. So if the CPU scheduler continuously samples the message queue, if the message queue is empty, it won't even tell the main thread to go and read it. Yeah, that updates very well. No, that's a background thread. That is a separate thread. They from the main thread. That's part of the same thread. So what is happening? Okay. Okay, so the question that he has posed is that we have this async task and there are four different functions. So are these all separate threads, each function? It's not all separate thread. Async task itself is one separate background thread that works from the main activity. Now inside those functions, on pre-execute, on doing background, on progress update, what happens is that whenever you have those functions internally are doing this. That they are first declaring handler, then they are doing obtain message, so taking a token, modifying that token, doing send message. And the main thread is reading the message. That is done in that is abstracted from you. So you don't know what is going on. But the same thing of obtaining a message, modifying it, and posting it in the message queue, and then the main thread going and reading the message queue, that is happening in our it's not thread. It's the same one background thread that is using the socket communication to communicate with the main thread. So all those functions are different instances of socket communication. So it's not multiple threads. Any other questions?
That's how that you declare the sync task even as the task.
Yes.
As even task. As even task, so that you can access the task and not have to real. Because that will be that task.
So yeah, so you have to declare it inside the main activity.
So can I declare task as
Can you what?
can I declare task as
So if you declare it outside the main activity, then you won't have access to the UI components in the on pre-execute or on progress update or on posting. On those functions, you won't have access to the UI. They have to declare it inside the main activity.
we can also override the structure.
You cannot really what?
Override the structure. Because that's the way it has but it's not override.
You only have controls on those functions that I showed. Only these functions. And since this is a private class, so any other class you declare outside main activity cannot access any of the components of this slow task. Any other questions? Okay. So what we'll do next is that there are two things in mind. So the first thing is that let's discuss two more projects that we have. So did you upload the project descriptions? Okay. So you will upload the project descriptions today, and you can choose from the project. Let's set a deadline that you choose, finalize your choices by Sunday. Right? And from Monday you can meet your mentors and start working on the project. Define the tasks and start working on the project. Right? So that will give you from June 5th to July 10th. Right? So it's slightly more than a month. Right. So you can decide on the tasks that you can finish within that time interval, and you can go on. So there are two more projects. So total there will be 9 projects that are available to you. And I think how many groups are there? 9. No, so exactly 9 groups. So you can choose from them, or you can two different groups can choose the same project. That is also fine. So this project Anybody looked at the videos that I'm uploading? Those the quality of the video is fine. You can listen to me. Yes. So no difficulty in listening or viewing the screen through the videos. The videos are fine. Okay. So the eighth project. So this is the eighth project. This is the project based on the interrelationship between blood glucose level and physical activity. Right. So you know that one of the critical applications in which mobile systems are used, so the wearable systems. We have discussed this before, the artificial venting. And I showed you a picture that you put some continuous glucose monitor on your belly and some infusion pump. Right? So this is continuous blood glucose control. Right? So the continuous blood glucose control system has only been approved to operate during the night. So during the night means when the person has eaten anything that the person wants to eat and is gone to bed. The person has gone to bed and is going to sleep for the next 8 to 10 hours. During that period of time, this closed-loop blood glucose control will ensure that the person never goes into hypoglycemic state. And if the person goes to hypoglycemic state, sound an alarm. And what you need to do is, if hypoglycemia means blood glucose level falls very low and you get sick. So what you have to do in that case is somebody has to wake you up and feed you something. And that is the only intervention. So once that is done, so what happens there is that the variability is very low because the person is sleeping. So the metabolism, there is no activity, the person is not speaking anything, the person is not eating anything. So the entire metabolism is pretty static and we can predict what is going to happen 30 to 40 minutes in the future. So based on that prediction, what is going to happen 30 to 40 minutes in the future, the controller decides how much insulin I need to infuse right now. And that is what the controller does for 1 month. So that I can avoid hypoglycemia. Because too much insulin infusion can reduce the blood glucose level to a very low level. Now the problem is blood glucose control should not only work when the person is sleeping, it should work when the person is awake. Whenever the person is awake and in a free living scenario, which means the person is free to walk, run, whatever, do daily activities, right? Whatever the person wants to do, she should be able to do, and still the blood glucose control system should be able to control the blood glucose. Now, turns out that that is a very difficult task. Why? Because small activity, like even moving your arm, or walking from this table to that table, or doing some work in the kitchen, that affects your blood glucose. So that is called physical activity. Physical activity, and that is different from exercise. Whenever you are doing exercise, you are running vigorously, or jumping, you are doing something, or lifting weight. That is exercise. That is very different from physical activity. Physical activity is just walking or doing things that you normally do. Now it has been seen that physical activity has a very big impact on blood glucose level. So which means if a person is active, doing a lot of work around the house, then that person's blood glucose level or the increase in blood glucose level of that person, if the person eats some food, that increase is much lower than a person who is sedentary. So two persons, person A and person B. Person A is very sedentary, just watching TV, sitting on a couch. Person B is much more active. If both the people eat some food, same amount of food, the amount of blood glucose level increase in person B is much lower than that in person A. So that means a physically active person has higher insulin sensitivity. What does it mean by insulin sensitivity? that if I give a small amount of insulin, or if I give X amount of insulin, how much blood glucose level is reduced. So that ratio, the reduction in blood glucose level divided by amount of insulin injected, that ratio is insulin sensitivity. So it turns out that a higher insulin sensitivity is better because you need lesser amount of insulin to control your blood glucose level. Right? So if you are physically active, you have more insulin sensitivity. Now, that is a good thing if you are a healthy person. But if you are using a blood glucose, closed loop blood glucose control system, that can be bad. Because a closed loop blood glucose system does not take this into account. That if the person is physically active, then the person has higher insulin sensitivity. It does not take that into account. So what it does is that regardless of that person is sedentary or active, it does not care. If the person has 100 calories of food, of carbohydrates, 100 calories of carbohydrates, then there is a standardized amount of insulin that the controller will use. That standard amount of insulin does not take into account that the person is physically or physically active. So now if the person is physically active, then the blood glucose reduction of that person who is physically active will be much more for a smaller amount of insulin induced. So what happens then is that the physically active person is at a higher chance of getting hypoglycemia because that person is getting more insulin than required. So these control systems are not used in a clinical scenario because they cannot take this into account. They cannot take physical activity into account. So one of the tasks in this project is to let controllers be aware of physical activity. How can you modify a blood glucose level controller? By providing a physical activity model. So which means, what is the function that relates insulin sensitivity and physical activity? Turns out that that function is not really available, and it is highly varying for different people. And there is not a single equation that you can obtain. So what you have to do is you have to employ machine learning to find out the relationship between insulin sensitivity and physical activity. You have to either employ deep learning or some kind of machine learning. So what we have is we have a collaboration with Mayo Clinic, and we have a lot of data. And we have data from 10 type 1 diabetic patients. So data means we have every 5 seconds continuous blood glucose monitor data. Then every 6 hours we have blood glucose values from the blood. We have accelerometer data which captures physical activity every second. So 3x is accelerometer every second. So 1 hour frequency. We have meal data. So what that person is eating on a daily basis. We have and we have how much insulin that person is taking manually. So this person was not using a closed loop blood glucose monitor, just manually injecting insulin. Right? So we have all those information. Now using that huge amount of data, the task that you can perform is use a deep learning network. And use a deep learning network or some other form of machine learning technique to find out this relationship between insulin sensitivity and physical activity. Now once you find out that relationship, what we can do is we can use that relationship and feed it into the controller. The controller can become aware of the physical activity and take decisions accordingly. So that is not the part of the project. But the part of what you can do is you can try out, test out different machine learning techniques and find out this relationship between insulin sensitivity and physical activity. So that is one problem. the description of the project I will write and put it up there. The second project that you can do is related to satellite imagery. So, what is the background is that there are these geostationary satellites. Geostationary satellites means they are, if you look up, then these satellites are always at a fixed position, at the same position in the sky. So these satellites can take pictures of the Earth. And they can take pictures of the Earth, and they can take pictures of specific locations on Earth. Now, when they take pictures of the specific locations on Earth, so what can happen is that over time there is a lot of image data. So they take a picture every 30 minutes. Let's say they take a picture every 30 minutes or every 10 minutes. Then in a year there is a lot of images. Now, using that image, or not only in 1 year, maybe for the past 10 years, these satellites are taking images. So you have a lot of images. So using these past 10-year images, what you can do is you can form an idea of how the landscape is changing. Whether there is a deforestation, or whether there was a forest fire. Once there was a forest fire, how did the land cover change? Right? So if there is forest fire, what happens is all trees get burned and then new trees grow. Then you can also argue about effect of industrialization in a certain area. When trees are getting cut, the average temperature is rising. So all those kind of things you can argue about using those images, by analyzing those images. So this project, what you have is that you will work with satellite images. You will do image processing on satellite images. Some algorithms are already there which you can just use, or some algorithms you can choose. You can make your run your own algorithm. So this project is more like a software engineering project. There is not really a research component into it, but it's an easier project, I would say, because all the steps are already given. You just have to execute on a large number of images. There is a software engineering type of project where you take these images, you apply image processing on these images to clean them up. So why do you want to clean them up? The reason is some images might have cloud cover. In that case, you cannot really see what is happening underneath cloud. So you have predictive algorithms. You have generative algorithms that you want to implement on these images to eliminate the cloud cover. Then some images might have blurring. Some other techniques might be needed to convert these images into meaningful metrics. Meaningful metrics means one of the meaningful metrics is called vegetation index. Vegetation index means if you take a look at the picture, how green is a particular area. If it is more green, then vegetation index is higher. If it is browner, which means the trees are being cut, new buildings are being built, so vegetation index decreases. So that vegetation index has been used in many research related to climate change. Right? So your task will be taking these images, cleaning them up by applying this kind of algorithm, converting the images into meaningful metrics. But all these algorithms are given to you. So basically, you will have to write some code. So that's a very easy project. You just need to do coding, you don't really need to do research. So these are two new projects. So we have a total 9. I will write some things, write a description of this project and upload today, and then you can choose one project. Any questions about this project? So now let's go to the other section where we are discussing a paper, and because we also need to write one. So let's understand how to write a paper. So what paper are we discussing? The ecotag, right? So this is the paper that we are discussing, and we saw that we were to the initial phase where we were scoping down our research, not we, the author, we were scoping down their research. Right? So we said that okay, this is the overall problem is Indo-localization. There are many methods for Indo-localization. One of the competing methods is Wi-Fi fingerprinting. The other method is movement characterization using accelerometer. But ecotag is another is separate kind of method. So it uses sound signatures. Right? So that is the novelty. That's how you come to the novelty argument. So when you are talking about your solution, like our overall solution idea, then you have to do this mobility analysis. How different is it from competing techniques? So ecotag is very different because it's not like fingerprinting. It's a new look at this difficult problem of interlocalization. New way of looking at it. Now, how effective is it that we have to get from it? So that is the next question. How effective is this solution? So first of all, even before going into how effective is this solution, we have to argue about, or we have to think whether there are any recent works which are similar, which talk about the same solution. Are there any recent research papers that are talking about the same solution using sound? So you have to do a related work analysis. That's what is here. So here what they have said is that they have done a related work analysis, but they are mostly focused on localization and said that Wi-Fi based localization and so on. Then they have talked about location tagging. Just location tagging. And location tagging doesn't really work indoors. And then they say that okay, why ecotag is different from all these techniques. So there is location tagging or acoustic beacons people use, and then there is NFC tags, near field communication tags. So that is another method of localization. So what they are doing in this related work section is they are taking different solutions to the same problem of interlocalization and comparing their solutions. They are saying, okay, this solution, our solution is might be better because of this reason. So same thing in your paper. So that is the next step. So the first step is you discuss the overall problem. Then you narrow down what is your problem. Of that overall problem, you cannot solve the whole problem. Maybe you are solving a part of it. So discuss why that part is important. Then you go and do related work. But before you do related work, you have to give a little overview of your solution. So this is what this figure is giving an overview of how ecotag works. Right? So what is the overview? Overview means discuss in simple terms, so that anybody can understand. Anybody without background of computer science or without background of any mathematics can understand how your system works. So how does it work? What they do is they take the smartphone and then they place it in some location, and then they mark the boundary of the smartphone, and that mark remains permanent. Then they take the acoustic signature, so which means they send out certain sound signals, acoustic signals, and these sound signals are reflected from the surrounding objects. So they are reflected from the surrounding object. So the reflection, they record the reflection. Right? So they are recording the reflection. This reflection can be multiple times because they are sending one signal. It gets reflected by that cup, which is in that picture. It might also get reflected from a far away object. Right? So there are multiple reflections coming in. So when you look at the graph of acoustic intensity, so acoustic intensity means whatever intensity is recorded by the microphone of the smartphone. You will first see a big spike at time equal to 0. What is that big spike correspond to? is the sound that the smartphone is making. So that's not a reflection. The sound that the smartphone is emitting is recording itself. So that is a time equal to 0. Then reflection takes a certain amount of time because sound doesn't travel with the speed of light. It travels at much lower speed. So it takes considerable amount of time for a reflection to come back. So you will see another peak little bit later. That peak is reflection from the closest object. Then you will see another peak coming after a certain amount of time. And this peak is, the amplitude is reduced. So this peak is coming from a far away object, and since it is far, the atmosphere is dampening the sound. That's why the sound amplitude is smaller, but is occurring at a later time. So when you look at the sound that is obtained from the microphone, you will see some peaks. One large peak, then a little bit later you have a medium peak, and again a little bit later you have another smaller peak. Right? So you will see that kind of effect is called the sound signature of that particular location. So you get the sound signature. Now once you get this sound signature, then you tag it into location. You say that okay, this is the sound signature of my nightstand, just by my bed. Next time when you and so you say that this is the sound signature of my nightstand, and then you say that what do you want to do when I place the phone in here? So you say that okay, when I place the phone in here, I want to set my alarm to 6:28 next morning. So now what happens is that next time you take the phone and place it somewhere, some location, then that phone again emits that sound, gets that reflection signature. If this signature matches with the signature that it saw when you kept it on the nightstand, it identifies that okay, I am on the nightstand. So since I am on the nightstand, what task do I need to do? I need to reset the alarm to 6 a.m. in the next morning. So now what happens is that if you have a functionality where you place the smartphone at a given location and it does it recognizes where you kept it and it does things automatically. So that's the function of Picotex. That's the overall operation of Picotex. So they talk about the overall operation of Picotex, and then they say that okay, how is it different from current work? How is it different from Wi-Fi? How is it different from NFC and those things? So that is there in the related work section. So see here, they have a nice table, existing interlocalization location sensing system, and they have said that the system, what is the resolution, whether you need any specific infrastructure or not, what kind of signature. So this is a nice way of doing related work. Right? So I am expecting that in your paper also you will do this of segregation, other work from you. Then after they have done their related work, they give a system overview. What is the system overview? System overview means what devices you need, how are these devices communicating. That is the system overview. So devices you need in this case is just a smartphone, right? And the ability to send out some signal. That's it. And then you need a backend server where you do the machine learning to matching and also store a database of signals tagged with the location. So that is the system overview there. Now in this system overview, in addition to the echo tag, in addition to the sound signature, they also store the Wi-Fi signal strength. So this is kind of a hybrid approach towards indoor localization. So they not only use echo tag, they also use the Wi-Fi SSID. SSID is not single strength. It's the ID which says that okay, you are in the particular part. And so how do you have a single Wi-Fi SSID? So so that they can distinguish in which house you are in. Then they also say that the underlying machine that analyzes this matches the different signature in the support vector machine. And we will talk about what is the support vector machine in neural network much later in the class. But for now, let's go with whatever they are saying. Then they talk about acoustic signature. So now this is what I talked about. Right. No, not that. This I got. Already. So this is a received acoustic signal in the microphone. So the first one is the signal, is the sound recorded when they first send out the sound signal. Now, as time progresses, you see there are peaks. There are peaks at different times. So these are reflections from far away objects. This is reflection from object 1.5 meter away. This is 3 meters away, 4.5 meters away, and so on. So as the time increases, you see the amplitude decreases and finally becomes zero. Right? So in this signature is unique to a given location. It depends upon what objects are nearby. That is what is the basic hypothesis of the state. So when you are part of the solution, so when you are proposing the solution, you also have to state your hypothesis. What is your core assumption? Here the core assumption is that every location has a different sound signature. Right? And how can we extract the sound signature? Very easy. You just record and you do peak detection. Whenever you peak detection, due to peak detection, you see that there are certain peaks at particular frequencies, and you can say that okay, there are some objects 1.5 meter away, 3 meter away, 4.5 meter away, and so on. So that is their hypothesis. So when you write a paper, you also have to talk about hypothesis. Then they are saying that what frequency of sound should I select? Now there is an advantage as well as disadvantage of sound selection. First of all, ideally you should choose a very high frequency sound so that whenever you use echo tagging, you don't have to listen to the sound. There is annoying. Right? So you use a high frequency sound which you don't have to listen to. But the problem with high frequency sound is that the reflections are not very typical. The reflection amplitude is highly damped. As the frequency increases, the damping factor increases. Not only that, the microphone of the smartphone has a bandpass filter. And every microphone has a bandpass filter. And that bandpass filter is tuned to voice. It's not tuned to some higher frequency. So if it is, if now you are sending high frequency signals, the microphone won't pick it up. It will dampen. The microphone itself will dampen the reflections. Right? So that's why you have to use sound signals that the person can hear. So that is a main disadvantage of the thing. Because whenever you do echo tagging, you have to listen to the sound. And that sound is annoying. So what they are talking about is they are talking about main assumption in their system, and that is also a disadvantage of their system. So it's up to you to talk about it. If you don't talk about it, the reviewer will talk about it and will shoot down your paper, and they won't accept it in the concept. So if you say upfront that that is our disadvantage, and we know about it, and we are doing something for it, then that paper becomes more usable, and you get higher rating. Right? So that is what exactly they did. And then how did they get around this problem? They said that okay, we did a study on 32 people, on 32 subjects, and everybody said that okay, that sound is not enough. So they did a user study, and then they said that okay, the choice of that sound frequency is fine. People are not finding it enough, so we might as well use it. Right? So that is how they are getting around with the problem. Now there are a lot of other factors So one of the factors that are in this paper that is important in this paper is that you cannot just choose one short sound. Which means you cannot do just send out one frequency and see reflections for that frequency. Why? Because of that effect. So what they are doing is that they are sending out a single frequency sound, but they repeat. So you send out one frequency of sound, then after certain delay, you send out the same sound again. Then again after certain delay, you send out that sound again, and you do this maybe 3 or 4 times. Now they are explaining why do you need to do that. So if you do not repeat with delays, then what happens? So they did that. They did that experiment. They did not repeat the sound signal. They just sent one sound frequency, right? What they found out was whatever the microphone captured is in figure 9. So they saw that this is the frequency versus time, so DWD domain, discrete wavelet transform, so time frequency domain. Right? So in the time frequency domain, what they saw was that if I do not send delayed signals or repeated signals, then I see that in this frequency, in the left and right microphone, right, there is this huge blur. If I send a delayed frequency, so I repeat with one sample delay, then that blur becomes sharper. With a 2 sample delay, then blur becomes even more sharper. So what does it mean? It means that detecting the reflections becomes easier. If the time frequency domain, the blur becomes sharper, then the detection is easier. Sharp things you can detect more easily than just a blur. Right? So if I send multiple sound frequencies with a certain delay, then that makes my detection much more easy. So that is their core technique. So they are now discussing the technique that they use. Right? And they are showing by evidence, they are showing evidence that their technique works and why their technique works. Right? So when you are talking about your solution technique, you also have to argue about why you think this technique will work. Now you don't have to show the evidence because collecting evidence takes a long time. What you have to do is you have to say intuitively, you have to give an intuitive explanation as to why your solution might work. Why do you think your solution works? Right? You don't have to show data, you don't have to do implementation, nothing. You just have to think. Right? Now the rest of the paper is about actually building that solution, doing experiments, showing your results. None of which is that you don't have to do anything more. So what you do is you just do an intuitive analysis of the feasibility of your solution, which means whether your solution will actually work or not, and you stop it. So you stop there, your paper is done. So that's why it's just a 4-page paper. Okay. So we will talk about a lot more papers. We will talk about different papers, and you'll get a more and more idea of how to write, how to read, how to analyze good papers, and then you can submit your papers and we will have an answer. Right? So we will stop here.